So to some, there's surprising news coming out of Denmark. It's a socialist paradise. Everything is free and it's great. According to Bernie Sanders, it's actually not a socialist country. It is a very big welfare state with an extremely high personal income tax rate of up to 66%. There ain't no free lunch, people, but this is about feminism. And the surprise is coming from the authors in this article in The Guardian, Richard Orange and Pamela Duncan. And the least feminist nation in the world is Denmark. Oh my God. A poll of more than 25,000 people in 23 major countries found that just 1 in 6 Danes consider themselves a feminist. 16%. Actually, I think that's pretty high. Now, to be honest, it says here in the article, and they start out with some reality, one of the best places in the world to be a woman is Denmark, with a narrow gender pay gap. Actually, it doesn't exist, but okay, whatever. Equal employment rights, just about every Western country in the world has that. Universal childcare, and some of the happiest female retirees on the planet. It's a great place to be a woman. Denmark, you got everything you want. You got the childcare, you got the equal employment rights, there's no wage gap. We're not even going to lie about that. Happy female retirees, but they're the least feminist in the world. And the authors, of course, have a problem with this. So it comes as a surprise to them to find in this global survey of attitudes toward gender equal rights in the Me Too movement, Denmark is one of the least feminist countries in the developed world. This poll, conducted by YouGov-Cambridge Globalism Project of more than 25,000 people in 23 Western countries, found that just 1 in 6 Danes considers themselves to be a feminist. A third said that wolf whistling at women in the street was acceptable. Actually, if you read deeper into the story, women are saying it's fine, not just people. And 40% had an unfavorable view of the Me Too movement. Helene Frost Hansen says, it's a difficult question. What is a modern feminist? I don't want to be equal in all senses. Oh, you certainly do not. Quote, it depends on what you mean. I'm just ordinary, says Charlotte. I'm not marching in the streets. Why? What would you be marching for? You've got every single thing in Denmark that feminists here in the United States are bitching about. Childcare, this, equal pay is a myth. You've got equal rights under the law. Now they want an equal rights amendment to pass in the United States. I say, go for it, girls. Pass that thing and watch all your special goodies disappear, because everyone is to be treated the same, even women. Oh, no. According to the data, only a quarter of Danish women consider themselves feminists. A stark contrast to neighboring Sweden, where 46% of women consider themselves feminists. If you asked just the general population in the Western world, I would bet north of 90% of people agree that men and women should have equal rights under the law, and all of these things should be paid equally, and all of that stuff. And yet, a very small slice of people are actually feminine. I wonder why. Wonder why that is. Charlotte Mathiasen, yes, I'm a feminist. And I had 3 daughters and raised them all as feminists. The man has to do exactly the same jobs as the woman. Do the women have to do exactly no. Come on now. We know she's talking about emotional labor and household chores. Only inside the house. The outside stuff doesn't count. We all know how the game is played. In fact, it says here more Danish women are happy to be wolf whistled than called a feminist. I don't mind it so long as it's done in a nice way. I see it as a compliment. A lot of Danish women say they would like men to be more like men in Southern Europe and tell you how nice you look. Ricky Anderson, some professor studies of something at some university, argues that one reason Danes tolerate low-level sexual harassment is the belief that what is meant well should be excused. Yeah. This may be part of the reason the debate triggered by the Me Too movement has played out so differently in Denmark than it has across the straits in Sweden. Only 4% of men and 8% of women in Denmark questioned in the survey said they had a very favorable opinion of Me Too. Sarah Peel, 32, who is walking her baby, she worries that Me Too will make men feel constrained in their relationships with women, quotes, I think some men are afraid of talking to women at work in case they get accused of something. Sarah, do you think? Do you think there's a backlash? Do you think the Me Too people didn't think ahead? what the possible consequences would be in the future. No, we just want it now. By the way, how many prominent men have you heard of, say, in the last, 6 months or a year, have been Me Too'd? Very few. I guess they ran out of perverts after about 500. Anyway, the article's below. You can read it. There's a couple of articles in there. And the point I guess I'm trying to make is in a country like Denmark, where women have it pretty good, it's pretty equal. There's a lot of equality floating around in Denmark. Why would we expect the number of feminists to, be going up? Of course not. Well, what's the point if there's nothing left to fight for? Feminasties ought to be picking their toys up and going home. We've got it. We've reached equality in Denmark and in a lot of other countries in the Western world. So the point of the movement, there isn't one. James Maxwell, thank you for listening.